In today's video, I want to show you how to access and replace the drain, pump, and idler assembly in a Speed Queen TC5 washing machine, as well as how to access the pump and the motor if you needed to replace those as well. You would need to do this if the unit smells like it's burning, it won't spin the water out, or it's agitating very poorly during operation. It's possible you may not need the belt or the idler, but it's always sold in a very affordable set, so I'm going to show you how to take care of everything. The tools that you need for this repair are as follows: a 5/16 screwdriver, a dental pick or hook for moving the springs, a 1/2 inch socket, a 3/8 socket, and then a 7/16 wrench as well. So let's get to the video. First, let's locate the two 5/16 screws at the very bottom of the washing machine, one on the left and then one on the right. Once you found them, remove them from the bottom of the machine. Again, you can use a screwdriver or a drill gun for faster speed if needed. Once you have both screws removed, you're going to need to pivot the front of the washing machine away from the washer. It should pivot at the bottom of the machine, and it will drop the door to allow you to move it away like what you see here. Now inside the machine, use a pick or spring tool to remove the spring here, which obscures the capacitor, motor, and pump system. This step saves a lot of time, and you may need to remove the one on the right side as well for the belt, but that is optional. Next, use a 1/4 inch screwdriver, or in this case, I used a 45-degree drill driver tool to remove the harness that holds the capacitor in place. You could unplug the capacitor or just move it to the side of the machine while it's still plugged in. The next step is removing the rubber hoses from the pump. These are 5/16 screws, and you want to put a towel down to catch any water that could be in the drain hoses when you take these off. Remove the hoses from the pump and drain as needed. You'll then want to remove the belt from the transmission system. This can be a little bit tricky to show on camera, but here's the best I can get. To remove the belt, you need to reach in to the belt and pulley system and slowly rotate the belt counterclockwise while pulling down on the belt to dislodge it from the pulley housing. As a note, I removed the bottom 2 bolts from the motor assembly to give it a little bit of slack. This was optional, but is not fully needed to get the belt off in some cases. The next step with the belt off is to unbolt the motor assembly from the washer. Note the collar of the bolts, as there is a set of red and blue collared units that you need to be removed with a 1/2 inch socket wrench or driver. Make sure to replace them to the correct locations later on. With the belt dislodged in the pulley, go ahead and remove any remaining bolts from the motor assembly. I did put a rag under the pump so I won't have to hold the assembly as it dropped from the last bolt. With this done, you can slowly work the motor and belt assembly out. But before you get it out all the way, you do want to remove the wire harness on the motor. I did this so it would show you how this would operate. I find it easier to work with the motor assembly being out slightly when doing this. The harness on the motor has a clip that needs depressed at the top of the motor assembly while pulling the harness out and away from the motor, as you see here. With this done, you can gently work the motor assembly out, up, and away from the washing machine. This is the assembly for the Speed Queen motor. You can replace what you wish now: pump, belt, idler assembly, or the motor as well. First, there are 3 clips that need removed with a pair of pliers or a flat-bladed screwdriver that allows you to take the pump off. On older Speed Queen washers, there aren't clips. There are instead a T20 Torx bit on each of these holes, if I remember right. If you only needed to replace the belt and pump assembly, you could have done this just by removing the clips on the machine without unbolting everything. You'll see here, once the pump is off, there are black belt shavings indicating that the pump had an issue with an obstruction. Usually after 8 or 10 years under normal conditions, the belt probably could need replaced for routine maintenance as it glazes over from normal agitation. From here, you can remove or replace the belt if that was it. There is a particular way to reinstall the belt, but I will show that in a little bit. I'm also going to go ahead and remove the idler spring from the idler assembly at this stage as well. To remove the motor mount, you need a 3/8 socket. To remove the 4 bolts from the dampener mounts, as you see here, You can then lift the motor mount away from the motor as you see. If you wanted to replace the motor, you would only need to remove the plastic shield on the other side, which takes, I believe, a 5/16 socket for reference. On the underside of this motor mount, there is a 7/16 bolt that needs held in place with a wrench or socket. Once you have that secured, the top side of the idler will take a 1/2-inch socket to remove the idler assembly. On this version, the entire idler can be removed and replaced. Some older versions of these kits have just the pulley being replaced and rebuilt with some clips and washers and other such things, but this version, it's everything all at once. We're replacing it using an OEM 959P3 kit. This includes a lot of different things such as the idler leveler, belt, washers, and so on, what you see here. It comes with these 6 parts and the instructions to walk you through everything, but we've already got half the instructions done already if in case I've missed something or led you astray. Here's the instructions on the one side of the sheet. If you have any specific questions, it does help you diagnose it, but let's go ahead and go to the next part. Before installing the idler, you use some white lithium grease and apply a small dab on the area where the idler will meet the motor mount like you see here. Speed Queen suggests a product called Lubripaste, but it is about $140 a tube, and the white lithium grease is only $6. Next, go ahead and install the idler to the motor mount. You want to install a washer on the top of the idler, then insert the bolt and prepare it for tightening. Again, you'll need a wrench and the socket to hold it in place and tighten it from the other side. Sometimes camera angles are difficult for these situations. Once you have it installed properly, the idler should be able to float freely. And since it's still free, I'm going to go ahead and install the spring to show you where and how it goes. You may not want to install the spring at this point because it could obstruct the pulley when you get the plate remounted. It's optional, but this is just how I filmed it. Next, go ahead and install the motor mount to the motor again. It will rest on these 4 threaded screws like you see. It's possible that some of the motor damping mounts could get pushed around, so you have to make sure that they get reinstalled and everything is flush. Once you have all that seated, you can use your 3/8 socket and then begin to tighten them all down properly. Make sure to press the idler pulley and assembly 1 or 2 more times for good luck, just like clicking tongs before you start grilling outside. The next step is the belt. You'll need to unpack it and make sure it's unfurled, and then seat it into the assembly. Worn belts will look very glazed or smooth, whereas new ones will have some texture to grip everything, providing better agitation. If you need to install a new pump, you can do that during this point in the reassembly. There are OEM and non-OEM pumps that are available at different prices. I will have links to both in the description. It's your call on this, whether you use OEM or not. The key here is to ensure that the belt is seated properly onto the motor. It needs oriented like you see here. The belt needs to be on the inside of the 2 screw holes on the motor mount before you install the pump. Otherwise, it won't mount to the transmission pulley properly. So once you have this installed as shown, go ahead and slide the pump on. The final step once the pump is installed to the motor is to install the 3 clips back into the pump system like you see here. A pair of pliers will make this a little bit easier to clip them into place. They install where the screw holes are in the pump, as older pumps were mounted with the Torx screws again instead of clips. Mounting the motor to the tub is probably the only part of this that I really hate, much like an installation. Seat the motor into place, then go ahead and route the belt into the pulley system. You don't need to actually tighten it up quite yet. I suggest using a cloth, towel, or airbags to help seat the motor under the pump assembly, then slowly work the motor into place and begin to attach the 1/2-inch bolts to the milk stool assembly. It takes a lot of time to adjust this into place. The motor is 20 pounds roughly with the mount and everything. Once you have 1 bolt threaded in slowly, work the additional bolts into place. Remember that there is 1 collared set of bolts at the top. I believe they're blue, and then the bottom set that mounts the motor to the bottom bracket should be red. Don't tighten all the bolts fully until you have all 4 installed. You need a little bit of slack with the metal on the milk stool. It tends to flex against you, and this part again is somewhat difficult to work with, and is easier to say I got it done than what it shows on camera. Next, I'm installing the belt. It needs installed the same way it was taken out because you need to and route it to the pulley and then turn the transmission pulley, I want to say counterclockwise, to thread it onto the bracket to add tension. I had multiple issues rethreading the belt due to tension or access, so I did redo this part in the video. I went ahead and removed the right spring on the tub with my dental pick. It helped me get the belt into place and installed. This is optional. It may or may not assist you. Once you have this done, make sure to install the wire harness onto the motor. In this process, ensure that the harness routes properly around the milk stool so it doesn't interfere with the capacitor or capacitor wires, and you're almost done. If you uninstall the left and or right balance spring, this is where you'd want to install them near the very end once the motor and the harness and everything is installed. Next, go ahead and install the capacitor to the motor mount. I am using a 45-degree 1/4 inch hex head screwdriver to reinstall the strap. There's a small finger that mounts into a hole on this capacitor strap to help line it up before you install the screw. Install the front door onto the washer. To do this, note these notches in the lip of the washing machine. This is looking upward into the top of the washer. There are metal clips on the front of the washer that will insert into these as you pivot the front of the washing machine into the chassis. It's going to rotate, allowing those clips to kind of lock into front. Note there are 2 pegs on the front that will seat in these holes, allowing it to be flush entirely. And everything should more or less kind of fit and lock into place. Once that's done, go ahead and make sure to reinstall the 5/16 screws, and you should be more or less done and ready to run the washing machine. I hope this video helps you out, guys. If you needed to replace the drain pump, the motor, the idler assembly, the spring, or just learn how to access your Speed Queen washer, I do have a few other videos on this, so make sure to check the links for those videos, as well as the parts we used in this video to replace on this unit. Using the links does help support the channel, and I hope you have a great